Hey everyone, what's up? The Copper Golems came out. This area of my storage I'm kind of using for miscellaneous things, and that's exactly what I want to use the Copper Golems for. Long story short, if you guys don't know, I have an extremely extensive sorting system. These aren't just chests with items. These are all being actively sorted, and let me show you. So if we go over here... Oh, okay, that's a creeper. If we go over here, you can see I have an extremely, once again, extensive sorting system of every item in the game, and I even have them labeled up here with these item frames. So, I'll be honest, at first, when I heard about the Copper Golems, I was slightly devastated because I put in all of this work just for them to add in the easiest sorting system mechanism in the game. But then I thought, David, you're being stupid, and just be happy for us getting something cool. And then I don't know the cycle as far as the snapshots. I'm not that into keeping up with everything. But they ended up nerfing the golem pretty hard, I think, and it essentially only grabs like a 16 by 16 area, and that's really about it. Which is good, because that means my sorting system is still 100% viable, and I can still use the Copper Golem for something extremely useful. My current sorting system is any items that come in 64. Anything that does not come in 64, I don't have sorted. So you could see things like shards, or, well, I guess shards come in 64. That's a really bad example. Like, things like compasses. Again, still bad example. Like ender pearls, right? Eggs, they come in 16. Anything that is either not 64, things like swords, and anything that is just rare to where I can't justify the space for it, is here, essentially. These are, again, some of the items where, like, dude, I don't have enough cherry slabs enough to make it important enough to add a chest. But then there's also discs and books, potions, and then again a lot of like this type of stuff. So this is again where I want to use the Copper Golems, right here. Alright, let's make them. So the first thing we need is copper blocks. And funny enough, I think I auto sorted them a little while ago. They're now here. Waxed copper. I don't know if it matters if they're waxed or not. Let's grab a few. The other thing that we need is some pumpkins. Where I mean, my pumpkins are more than likely along with the rest of my vegetables. Again, everything is pretty nicely. I'm pretty proud of this, man. Everything is sorted exactly how it should be. Everything is very, very neat and tidy. The only problem comes when new stuff gets added. Then I genuinely have a problem. Like, you could see this is like the most recent stuff that got added, and it's just kind of stuck here. You know, a little bit weird, but, you know, everything before that update is organized really well. But anyway, what am I yapping about? I need a pair of shears, because I need to make these bad boys jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, let's just place a few of these down. These need to become jack-o'-lanterns. I'm not actually sure how to make copper chests. I'm gonna assume that it would logically be made like this. Okay, that's what I thought. Can I make these double chests? Let's see. But I also can't put them next to each other, can I? So if I did that, and then I did... Oh, this one needs to be... Okay, hold on. Like that, like that. Do they just go to any chest? I'm gonna assume they likely just go to any chest, right? It's just gonna go to the nearest chest. Ooh, it's not gonna find it in the first 10, is it? Oh, did it just place it in a random chest? Oh, it's not supposed to do that. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to rework the way I'm doing this. Okay, I think I've come to the conclusion that I think this area just needs to be redone. Now, I have a lot of space back here. Like, I made this room way too big. I just think I probably need to tear these walls down and just honestly redo this section. All right, let's start with clearing the majority of the room. Since it looks like I'll need to do a complete remodel of this area, let's just try to start clean, get rid of all the chests. And I think I've tinkered around enough with the golems to where let's build something bigger. Let's build the actual sorting system, not some like a rinky-dink little thing. Let's build the full one. And I've got a tutorial. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to start out with just creating a 3x10 area. Now, this is going to be a single module of the entire thing. And essentially, we're going to repeat this module probably 15 times. But let's just start with one. Alright, so we want a chest. Hopper inside of that chest. Chest on top. Then we want to place the chests where our actual items will get sorted into. Then we place a trapdoor, and the golem will go on top of this trapdoor. Since we're on Java, sadly we can't just push the golem in. We'll have to create this little contraption each time. So yep, we build this, we spawn the golem, you shove the cart in, and bada bing bada boom, there you go. And then you get rid of the blocks, you drop the golem. Easy as that. Yeah, it's a little easier in Bedrock, but it's alright. In Java, it's still not too difficult. It just takes an extra 25 seconds each golem. Alright, push him in. Put a copper chest right next to him. Then we're going to go ahead and put a hopper into that. Chest on top of that. There we go. And then here is the next set of chests that will get sorted. We go a trapdoor. Once again, we want the golem on top of that trapdoor. Same little mechanism. You can use this mechanism in a couple different ways to make things easier. This is kind of the first way I've tried it. It seems to work pretty well. You just create a little L shape, a cart, you push them. The only thing that can go wrong sometimes is if you're not quick enough with pushing the chest, the little guy will scamper away. He'll just absolutely dash like a 2-year-old going towards the street. Alright, put a hopper there. Chest on top. And here's the last couple of chests. And then we're going to repeat. Yeah, honestly, this entire contraption is this little 3x3 module. Chest, or hopper, chest, more chests, trapdoor. We put the golem on top, and then put a chest on the other side. It's just this repeated again, and again, and again, and again. It's pretty easy, honestly. It's not too bad. Alright, there we go. Ooh. Okay, a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, chest. Then hopper. Chest on top. And then a chest to the right. And now we're going to start the top section. So this is going to be a double-decker storage system here. It's going to follow super similar as far as the constructing. The only difference is the copper chest is going to be a double, and the golem isn't going to go on top of a trapdoor. It's actually going to go in the middle of the 3 chests. It's just going to basically sit in a cart right in the middle. It's not going to be on top of anything, just straight up on the chest. It's a little annoying moving it there, but it's again, it takes like an extra 15-20 seconds. It's really not that bad, but you can see the way I'm doing it, it'll kind of spawn them on top of this area, but you just push them down, and pretty good. Okay, we do want to slab them up, only because their line of sight is going to point towards other chests if we don't. Same thing here, we'll want to slab them up. And then the bottom ones just need a slab on top of them. This one does need a slab on top, but then it also needs the 3 slabs around them. Don't need one in the back. There we go. Okay, and now we keep moving. Again, it's going to be a similar action. A hopper, chest on top. We're going to want to place the 3 chests here. That's 2. I can definitely count to 3, but I do struggle sometimes. And then we're going to put a copper chest. Make it a double. Make it a double wide right there. And then golem's going to go right here. Once again. Yeah, at some point, this is going to get real boring. Because, again, this isn't some complex redstone contraption. I would barely call this redstone because all the mechanical components is just built into the, you know, into the habits of the golem. The only redstone we have here is hoppers. But there we go. Go ahead and get that, and then we'll have to push the little guy down. Ooh, this is not a double. Oof. Let's make sure that's a double. I honestly, I don't think that'd break my mechanism, but well, it might. That might not be good. Let's push the bad boy down, and then we'll do it one more time, and that'll kind of complete one module. But we do have to do it one more time, so you know, I still have. There's still room for a creeper to fall down and destroy everything and make me quit. We still have time. One more time. Here we go. Same exact steps. And honestly, the first time you build it, you know, I look at the tutorial, press pause, look at the tutorial, press pause, but now I've already, you know, now it's pretty smooth sailing from here. It's pretty ingrained deep in my noggin, you know, how things go. And like you can just do it logically too. Like this hopper goes to that hopper, to that chest, to that house. Like, you know, it all makes. This is. I've built much more complex things on this one, like the tree farm and the gold farm. This is, you know, I haven't played Minecraft for a couple, I say months, but at this point probably 2 years. It's not too bad. Okay. Pumpkin. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's take him. And I don't know how much more of the build I'm going to show, because I'll be honest, the rest of this is going to be big. Like, I'm going to fill at least half of this room with these modules. That's why I said we're going to do, like, you know, 15 minimum modules. I don't know how much of that I'm going to leave on camera, so I'll be honest. I'm already kind of sick and tired of talking about this. It's such a... It's a nice build because it's simple, but it's not nice to talk about because it's so simple. But there we go. That is one unit. And this is the output chest. This is where everything goes that isn't sorted. But we are going to extend. So we're going to get rid of that. And essentially we're just going to follow the same pattern. And I kind of started in a weird place. Because what we're going to end up doing is having items originally flow from our sorting system down to the top layer. Then it's going to go across that top layer. Then it's going to go down to the bottom layer and then go across the bottom layer. So I built one unit, but this unit is almost the middle of everything. This is the middle of the entire contraption. Usually you start from the beginning or the end. For some reason I started in the middle, but it's fine because it doesn't change the way we do things. Because it's so module based, so, like, it's repeated, it really doesn't matter what part I build first. But it is a little weird. Yeah, and now that I've built one module, I'm just going to start building all of the modules at once. Kind of like a 3D printer, you know? Because I know the pattern of all of them, I'm just going to build the entire first row of all the modules, and then we'll do the entire second row of all the modules all at once. And then this, what I'm doing here, I'm essentially going to repeat on the wall to my left. So that way, my items will come down, go through the top, go to that left wall, go to the top, go down, go through the bottom of the bottom left wall, and then over here. Anyway, that's kind of the plan. But let's kind of focus back up here. So you can see you're getting copper chests. Basically, you're going to have 2 blocks in between each copper chest. Directly to the right of the copper chest, you're going to have a trapdoor. And then the hoppers will be going this way. It's pretty important. Make sure your hoppers are going in the right direction, because that will mess you up if you don't do that correctly. And then, as you can see, the little golem homie is going to be on top. The other thing that I completely forgot, and I just remembered, and don't forget to do this, you gotta wax your golems, man. If you don't wax them, they're gonna slowly turn hard and statuize. What? I don't know what the word is. They're gonna become a statue, and they'll stop working, and that'll suck because then you'll be wondering why nothing's getting filtered and everything's getting backed up. So anyway, wax your golems. I almost forgot to do that myself. I'll be honest. But let's go and continue. Again, same pattern here. Go ahead, and then the first block that I placed is going to be the actual block that summons the golem. This L shape is just gonna be where I can put a rail cart, bump the bad boy into there. I could probably use a different block, just so I can differentiate between the block that becomes the golem. But copper is so readily available; it's already in my inventory. I might as well just make it easy and use that same block. Honestly, the hardest part about this build is just the constant falling. I feel like I'm falling much more than I usually do or would. I used to be an absolute warrior with the shift key back in the day, man. I used to never fall off nothing. Nowadays, I'm geriatric when it comes to this game, and I just tend to lose my balance and fall off every block that I can find. Which is really bad if you're flying really quick with a elytra, because I just kind of smash into walls all the time. Again, I'm at the age of 26, but as far as Minecraft is concerned, I'm basically geriatric at this point. Dude, I remember I got so excited when, like, horses and ender pearls came out. It was gas. Alright, it's time to put all the pumpkins in place. This is my least favorite part, just because, like I mentioned earlier, if you're not quick enough with the minecart, they'll scamper. They will dart. Oh, see, that guy almost got away. You know, he thought, you know, he tried to escape enslavement. I'm not going to call it enslavement, though, because technically they're not alive, so... Yeah, I'm getting into it. I should probably stop talking. Yeah, we're just, you know... I'm going to say that they're in great condition, you know? Being at my base is probably lucky. Let's go and wax them up. See, they even get free waxing. I take care of them for the most part. They're gonna be happy here, I hope. And I've only had to kill a few, so that's, I'd say, positive. I've only messed up a few times, which is nice. And then, yeah, this is the only reason why this is definitely the most annoying part of the build, is just because in Bedrock it's so much easier, and here at Java they're making us work extra. But also, just breaking the blocks can get annoying. And yeah, you can probably just use blocks that break easier too, but then you're kind of at a risk of accidentally hitting the golem and blah blah blah. But, yep, if you do this correctly, they kind of just slide right in. Just right in the hole. Easy peasy. Not too bad. And then again, we're going to want to slab these bad boys up. Make sure that they don't have eyesight to any chests that they're not supposed to get eyesight to. Okay. All good in the hood. I think it's all good in the hood here. Let's start the top layer. Again, same pattern. We're just going to place all of the chests first. And then place the copper chests. And then the only difference with the top portion is at the bottom, it's 2 blocks chest, 2 blocks chest. At the top, we're going to use double copper chest, so we're just going to use double block, double block, double block, double block. So the pattern is just slightly different, but it all does the same thing essentially in the end. Alright, so let's do that exact pattern that I was talking about, as you can see here. Double chest, block, double chest, block, double chest, block. And that middle part is just going to be a hopper. Again, it's pretty important to remember which direction everything's going. In this case, the items are going to come down into the rightmost part, into the top. So these are going to be flowing to the left, all the way down. Dude, I'll be honest, my dryer just made so much noise, and I'm serious, you heard me stop talking for a second. I just had an absolute heart attack. Bro, it sounded like someone was breaking down my door. I need to change my pants. Alright, change my pants. Here we go. Golem time. Again, by far the least satisfying part of this entire process. I think what I'll end up doing, honestly, originally, I was going to show me building this exact same thing replicated on the left wall. Dude, I might just build it. And this one, oh, dude. Oh, the geriatric hits again. No way, I just fell off. Yeah. Dude, my dryer's going crazy. And my dryer's downstairs. It's not like in the room with me. I'm like trying to think if my neighbor's having a wrestling match. Alright, let's put the pumpkins down. And you just gotta be quick with it. These guys will run, man. These guys will definitely run. Alright. Last one. And the right, let's just say the top wall. The front wall. I guess this is the north wall. And then never eat sour watermelon, right? So I'm going to be building on the west wall. I could also just press F3 and check my compass, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not a loser. So we're just gonna call this the north wall. We're gonna call that the west wall, and then just pretend like that's correct. All right. I'll finish up this little piece and then again, I don't know if I want to show the other part, but that's essentially the entire. I say tutorial, but I'm watching a tutorial, so this is a tutorial of someone else's tutorial. And realistically, I should probably tell you who that is. Yo, what's that dude's name? He always makes like the first tutorials for every update. Let's see. What's that dude's name? I guarantee you type in Golem tutorial, it's like the first one that pops up. Yeah, the Silent Whisperer, that's the guy. Oh, what was his name, man? Yeah, bro has every tutorial on the planet. Shout out to Silent Whisperer, man. Yeah, I'm using his tutorial. You just type in Minecraft Easy Copper Gold Insert Sorting System tutorial. It's like a video where he shows off like 5 or 6 of them. I picked the one that I liked the best, and I think out of the ones he showcased, this is by far easily the best one. Because it's pretty easy, it's compact for the most part. It allows you the most amount of chests, which is nice. And, you know, if you're like me, you're at the end of the game, and you have every item in the book, you're going to need a lot of chests. That's the important part. Okay. Alright, let me finish these last 3 up off camera. Let us start the next portion. So here's what we got so far. I went ahead and put on item frames, and I also put in the items that are going to go in those chests. So there we go. This is going to be all of our armor, all of our music discs, and then just random tools, ender pearls, eggs, candles, beds, cakes, whatever. All of it is going to be right here. Now, there are still more things to put, specifically, which is going to be the largest categories, and it's likely going to take up the vast majority of this wall is going to be potions and books. I think there's like, what is it, like 16 plus potions at this point. There's a couple of new ones that got added that I probably haven't even brewed before, and then books. There's also quite a few new books, like Windburst. I think, dude, there's a couple of new ones. Windburst is just the one that comes to mind, but yeah, there's plenty of books and plenty of potions. So, like armor, there's only 4 pieces, right? So I'm gonna build this entire west, wing here, but the majority is just gonna be books and potions. Copper time. So we're just going to have to repeat the bottom portion. Again, it's gonna be 2 chest, 2 chest, 2 chest, 2 chest. To the right of the chest will be a trap door. And yep. Trap door. Nice and easy. And then hopper. The bottom portion is complete. I went ahead and put all the golems where they needed to be. This is not supposed to be double chest. There we go. All right. Let's lube these bad boys up. Make sure they don't get all rusted. That would not be any good. Need these bad boys to be nice and fluid. another mega skip. I have completed the entire top portion of this build. Again, there's no reason to show you guys the thing that I just did for 20 minutes. This video is supposed to be entertaining. It wasn't meant to put you to sleep. There we go. We're gonna wax our boys up. Alright. Now that everyone's waxed, it comes to the most boring part, which is moving them into place. Here we go. So now that the sorting system is essentially done, we have to now take down the old remnants of, well, I say the old remnants, but just a couple pieces of the sorting system are just going to have to be moved. So before this, the little place that I was just at is where I would put the items to get sorted, and then if they didn't get sorted into anything that I had, they would run back to the chest over there into a chest labeled things that were not sorted. Essentially, we're just going to move all of that over to where the sorter starts over there. Yeah, so again, the idea here is going to be that I'm going to place all of the items in a single chest now. Before, the items that were stackable would go in the chest, and the items that weren't stackable would go somewhere else. Stackable, non-stackable, whatever, book, potion, armor. Every single thing is going to go into the same chest. That chest will run around the entire sorting system, and then anything that's not sorted will go into this Golem sorting system. And then at this point, I would hope any items that didn't get sorted over there would get sorted over here. And if they're not sorted over here, that means there isn't a chest for them, period. Then at that point, it would just be as easy as I add a chest into the Golem's end with that item. Just say, hey Golem, this item needs to go in this chest. Problem fixed. I don't even need to create a whole hopper array system for a new sorting system. I just stick it in the chest and everything is all hunky-dory. So saying all that, there just needs to be a little bit of remodeling. So I'm gonna reserve the entire east wall here for hoppers. A lot of times if I'm doing a really big job, I have 16 shulker chests that I need to sort. What I do is I just put them in my hotbar and I place them down on a large set of hoppers. That way I don't even have to touch anything. I just put the shulker down, the shulkers feed into these hoppers. Once I'm done, I break the shulker, and then the shulker is sorted. I don't even have to touch it. So yeah, this entire wall is going to be reserved for when I'm done with big projects. I just lay down all of my shulkers and don't even have to touch it. Make it easy peasy. So right here, this is going to be our sorting system, the beginning of it. This is honestly the most annoying part to take down is over here because everything is black. I love the design of our interior, but I'll be honest, man, it is very hard to see in here. I don't know what I'm breaking half the time. I can't even imagine on YouTube. Probably like 3 times worse. Okay, so this is going to be the beginning of the sorting system. So we want to link this to the end of our prior sorting system. So the easiest way is just to bring a set of hoppers up. My original sorting system for stackable items is literally above me. So I should be able to just break a wall or break the roof and get there. There we go. Broke through the ceiling. Now, the end of my sorting system also just kind of happens to be in the middle here. I essentially made this, yeah, like right there. I made this entire sorting system to look like a cinnamon roll. It's just kind of swirls around and it ends pretty much in the middle right here, which is pretty nice. Makes it easy. All right, and I do want to extend or put a bigger storage area for the items that did not get sorted. If I just so happen to put one too many items in, I just want a little area here where those items can go. So let's build that. The other thing that I'm going to do is keep a couple of extra chests because one double chest isn't a lot for certain items. Something like, I guess, even armor or weapons. I am going to have a lot more than one double chest. So I'm going to put an array of double chests below these double chests, and then a single chest in the middle across this entire array that isn't hooked up to any golems, but they'll simply just serve as extra storage. So when one of these chests gets full, I can just move it up or down and just have more storage. It's going to be a little less simple, but it'll be good. Okay, the project is officially done, and I felt like I did a pretty bad job of keeping you guys like up to date with everything that I did. So let's go through the last kind of final steps that I completed the project with. So like I mentioned in the last clip, I went ahead and added chests below here. So they're just going to serve as extra storage. In this case, you know, for something like shulkers, it's going to be the main culprit. I'm going to have more than one double chest. So I just, you know, this will just serve as extra. And then same thing up here. Just a little extra. I went ahead and put in all of the items in the entire game. Again, probably, I should have showed it off a little earlier, but we've got discs, weapons, we've got our tools, armor, more tools, things like boats, minecarts, cakes, horse armor, heads. These are going to be like a variety of slabs, variety of fences, things that I still have to add, a variety of stairs if needed, or, you know, thing like pink stairs. I'm not going to have a lot of pink stairs. Instead of sorting them out there, I'm just going to put them in here. And then on this other side, like I also mentioned, it's just going to be a lot of potions and books. So you've got all your potions here, you've got all your books on top, and then books are going to come all the way over here too. And then a bunch of miscellaneous shulkers, beacons, honey bottles, random copper items that I'm not going to, you know, make, especially with like the different oxidation levels. It's just going to be easier to, you know, sort them in something like this. So there you go. And then I cleaned up this little area over here, so this is where I can put in items. They're actually still sorting as we speak. And then again, I can just place shulkers down on this strip if I want to sort those items. This little area for anything overflowing that isn't sorted. And this is something that took me like an hour and probably should have showed you, but you notice this is a giant black wall here. I went from there all the way to over there, and I created a large, this entire thing is a wall, this entire thing is a wall. That wall didn't used to be there. Yeah, so now this is essentially the end of the room. The wall of the room is the sorting system. You can't go on top. And I went ahead and lit it up, and it's all good. But yeah, there we go. This project is done. There's an item in each one, so it sorts out. For things like, let's just say Bane of Arthropods, it has multiple levels of books. I did include all of the different levels. I don't know if we needed to, but I did. And yeah, currently every single chest has something that it's sorting, and I pretty much sorted everything in the game that I had on hand immediately, but let's just say I think it's something that isn't sorted. I'll probably end up just like vases. Okay, I could probably just put that in with something else and just make a new chest. And I can, or even like I can move the diamond in with the iron and just create this in another item. I've got plenty of room to make adjustments, or even potions. I can combine 2 potions if needed. Blah, blah, blah. This is pretty easily adjustable. I just have to remove whatever's in here. Then the golem will just start sorting something different. Easy, easy peasy. So, alright, I'm going to leave you guys. I think we're at 30 plus minutes at this point. This entire project took about 4 or 5 hours. So, honestly, for a sorting system that sorts anything non-stackable in the game, it didn't take that long. This was pretty good. And I'm sure I could make it better, more efficient in other ways, but I'm happy with what I got. And it's connected to my old sorting system that sorts all of this. By golly, man, you can't ask for anything better. So, there we go. Project completed. I'll see you guys next video.